This is Robert Firestone from the Flyover State of West Virginia. 10 or 11:10 a.m. 11/6/2020 with my Tim Pool hat on. Well, the truth is hell. What are these idiots going to do? Okay. At first, I heard it the night, I think, of the elections through X22, and it was being rumored that the ballots was watermarked. Okay, my understanding now they was quantum watermarked to follow the same system as the quantum banking and everything else. Okay, this quantum mark is something that can't be forged or hacked or whatever, but I don't believe in a whole bull crap about the non-hackables, because if somebody come up with something programmed to be non-hackable, there's got to be doors back into these systems because they got to be maintained. So I don't believe the bullshit about the non-hackables. Okay, it's like for years, cryptocurrency is safe, it's non-hackable, and as the hype got bigger, they got hacked. But anyway, I'm on a short video here from OAN pointing out the hypocrisy of the idiots known as the mainstream media. One, in general, that little confused bastard on CNN with the white hair. I can't even think of his name right now, but anyway, she'll go into the detail of it, and what's yet to come. I think somebody else pointed out too, and it kind of, I went and looked, and damn if they wasn't right. Trump yesterday, when he done that press briefer for the media that cut him off, didn't want to hear him. Trump was lying. We're all stupid. Okay, type shit. The flags in the background, the United States flags, for the people that know, there wasn't no gold fringe around them. So here's another thing that hit me like a ton of bricks. If that's the case, and he's done zeroed this shit out with the maritime law, and a lot of y'all understand what I'm saying, some of you don't. You might want to do some research on it. It'll really mess your head up. But anyway, they took maritime law and the law of the land and merged it together back a long time ago for us to be screwed from birth. Some of you know. But anyway, that fringe being down, that means about 90% of these congressmen and senators no longer really have a legitimate job, because they was hired and put in place or voted in, whatever the case may be, under them maritime laws. If Trump's got rid of these maritime laws and we're heading back to a constitutional law, basically common law, these people are null and void already, and they don't even know it. Which, the games Trump's playing with these people, that's how it's always been. He's allowed them to walk straight over a damn cliff when they thought they was trying to cut his, or they was going to cut his throat. But every time that he does this, I've yet to see out of 4 years anybody pin anything on Trump. Okay, we got to have an understanding, if you think about even our own lives, our ups and downs. Okay, we can look at what he's going through as the down part of it, but on the opposite end, nobody has done anything that they could do to take this man down. I've never seen nobody win this much, unless, like the Sid, and I gotta kind of believe it for myself. Y'all have to believe the way y'all want to believe. He was an anointing. Okay, there was another fella put out a video back in the 80s, okay, he went and found this guy. The guy became a hermit, I think somewhere in Italy or Brussels or something. But there was a church there that worships Mother Mary. I ain't into all that, but here, this is the wild part. The guy that became the hermit. Every year, this church closes down, and for whatever reason, they brick up the doors and different things. But they write on a raw brick what they're asking for. Okay, and this church, right before it closes down, they have this great big giant prayer type thing on everything that's going to be put in the walls, bricking up the doors, or whatever they do. Okay, everybody writes their prayer they're asking for. Okay, this was back in the 80s, and this other preacher was going that way, and he told him to go look up this fella. And the guy found him, and he told him the story that he kind of freaked out. He said, "Now, at the time, Trump was the so-called billionaire playboy." Okay, he said, "How did you know?" He said, "Because the Lord sent him a vision that this playboy was going to bring God back to the United States." Okay, and he told him, he said, "Well, did he tell you when?" He said, "No." He said, "Other than it was going to happen in the future." And he put that brick in, okay, after he wrote his prayer on it or whatever, and put it in that wall after it was, I guess, kiln dried. Or maybe they don't even kiln dry them because they tear them down, they tear them back out every year, clean them up. But anyway, back to the 80s, okay. Then you have the firefighter out of Florida. I'm having some short timers today. Ken Clement, multitudes of others that's now starting to come forward and talking about Trump's prophecy. Well, I believe the Lord's got his hand on Trump's shoulder and guiding him and putting him in places and showing him things and giving him insight, and some of the people that he's put around him. If there is such thing as a time machine, it's looking like that is possible. But anyway, I'll do this OAN thing here. Let me get it turned around. Sorry about the squirreliness. Anyway, there's my multi-generational time machine. Don't that look like some kind of time loop? All right.
Simply the voter fraud that's running rampant in Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. He addressed the factual and legal issues the Trump campaign is fighting and alerted the nation to the roadblocks his team experiences put in place by Democrat governors. Anderson Cooper, in his debrief of the president's address, told the CNN audience that Trump doesn't have any evidence to support his claims of voter fraud. This simply is not an accurate statement. Trump has both direct and circumstantial evidence of election fraud. Direct evidence is anything tangible we can look at or listen to and say that document or witness statement adds credibility to the allegation. In this case, there's videos of poll workers filling out ballots. A list of over 14,000 dead people who voted in Detroit.
That's just Detroit.
Videos of poll workers who've been kicked out of polling places and refused access to observe the process. Trump campaign officials denied entry to polls even with a court order granting them access, and that's just a small sampling. The Trump campaign also has circumstantial evidence, which is any circumstance or situation that could lead someone to believe a logical conclusion. For example, on election night, Donald Trump was leading Joe Biden by hundreds of thousands of votes in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin. Then the governors decided to stop counting and send everyone home. During the night, hundreds of thousands of ballots, millions across the country, show up at polling places with an overwhelming majority of ballots for Biden. Some batches went 100% for Joe Biden, a statistical impossibility. That's a circumstance that makes people go, it's statistically impossible, but you want me to believe it without taking a closer look. There's also the issue of Michigan's Secretary of State refusing to post actual numbers to the official website, but instead keep a secret ballot tab and only announce numbers to the media with no way to hold the state accountable for their tally. That too is odd and could lead someone to believe something fishy is going on. Yet, CNN and other media outlets refuse to acknowledge the facts and allow the transparency needed to ensure a fair election. Couple this circumstantial evidence with the fact that the Biden campaign
Bye-bye,
isn't
CNN.
disputing anything, has no questions at all about why poll workers are filling out ballots, dead people are voting, and Michigan is hiding its numbers. Biden has no questions? Why? One logical conclusion is because Democrats are cheating and the media is helping. One disturbing trend is that videos and posts
Ding, 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 ding,
documenting
ding,
potential
ding.
fraud are being
She just
censored
won the
or
prize.
deleted by social media. Not only are Democrats and the media not even entertaining the question of fraud, they are actively concealing the problem. CNN says there's no evidence. Despite this barrage of media attacks and trickery, Donald Trump will prevail. They can call Georgia for Biden or change the tallies all they want. The tallies and announcements at this point don't matter. It's going to get resolved in court. Donald Trump will prevail because once this is all laid bare in court, the trickery and secrets won't withstand the light of day. Every trial lawyer knows the easiest way to win in court is to have the best facts. Trump's got the best facts. You know why Joe Biden isn't challenging a single tally? Because he doesn't want them reviewed or scrutinized. Well, they're going to get reviewed and scrutinized. Hang in there, folks. It's a bumpy ride, but it's fine. The media is going to do its best to make us all believe Biden won. But let's take a closer look. A little scrutiny will go a long way.
Amen, sister. Now, it just, yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I got a pretty good idea. I just love this old camera sometimes. Chill out. Don't have a cow. These people were something else. Okay. The ins and outs for people that still scratching their head. The last 4 years, what Trump's been doing is basically setting up two things. Setting up the United States people to go back to actually having the United States put back in their hands. Okay? That means functionally, when this happens, where we've been so mesmerized by some hot-ass piece of pussy out of Hollywood that might be a guy, or an NFL game, or an NBA game, or this game, or that game, and 1,000 other things that keep us separated from reality with, okay? We need to drop these things and have an understanding that the real world is way more entertaining than any of this bullshit that we're seeing on TV. Television, okay? Think that way. Television. Programming, okay? Part two of what he's been setting up, which this has been pretty much the easier part for him because the corruption, when the greed gets involved and it gets so huge and the system's got to come together to try to hide its lies, that it starts walking into its own traps. Okay, they're not even taking the time anymore to try to find out if they're being even set up. They're just walking right into it because they won so long and for so long. They think they're untouchable. That's one of their biggest flaws. Okay. And what I mean by this is they have to be, you would think, tuned in to Q and the truthers out here to watch and listen, to see what might be going on. But if they are, they're not as smart as we ever give them credit for, which I've been saying this for a while anyway. My new little 3-word catchphrase is $1,000 smile, $10,000 suit, $100,000 rag hanging on the wall. Don't make them smart. If anything, it's made them more stupid. Okay? But these two important things, I think, what has happened. The thing, Trump handing the United States back to its people. Okay? The goodness of this alone, just say with the gold standard. Okay? Everything's still going to take time to work itself out, the highs and lows, or it gets back on a level playing field for every one of us. Okay? But the utopia that the dumbass Democrats and libtards wanted to try to create for us was a fantasy world, period. That's what we've been living in for, I don't know, 3-4 generations easily. If there's ever a book of truth wrote, it's going to probably have to be 25, 30 volumes, because it'd be almost impossible, I would think, to break this down in a manner to where you get it in one book. And if you did, it would be at least 5,000 pages. Okay, it's possible maybe, but anyway, for the ones that seek out the truth, it starts in history. History will show you the hidden lie that's where we're playing in. And I've been going 12, 13 years now in this, in different avenues and different directions, because of I've allowed my gut to move me around in this. I quit paying attention to this because this up here was getting me moved in the opposite direction of the truth, because we've all been playing in it. Okay, but when your mind, body, and soul, which is your gut, your heart, and your mind, start clicking as one, okay, you may ask questions or scratch your head about something that don't seem possible, but then when you see the possible, you're like, why in the hell couldn't I see that? But anyway, this will be a quick one. But to let y'all know, if Biden tries to declare himself winner, it automatically defaults it and they can do their count. Okay? Trump's allowing these people, again, like he's always done, he's allowed these people to do the right thing. Okay? And by doing the right thing, it will project him into the next 4 years. Okay. But at the same time, we all know these people's not going to do the right thing. They run right into that hole again. So what's coming, if it gets into court, I believe even the House and Senate races is going to be called up too, because even though my understanding is the Republicans took some seats and are looking to project themselves somewhere around about 15, it should be a lockdown all the way across all them seats when it comes to who and what they are. And like I said, if he has taken the admiralty law away from the United States and put us back under a constitutional law, these people don't have no jobs anyway, and they don't even know it. They're still running around flapping them lips, boy. Wind just flying out of their ass and mouth so fast. I believe somebody's behind them pumping air up their ass so their mouth works. Because it's like that dumb dead ass Nancy Pelosi that's eating all them fucking drugs for Alzheimer's and drinking a fifth of liquor a day. Who in their right fucking mind, really? And anybody that really believes that Joe Biden won, y'all are the ones that needs to be woke up. So get ready for a bumpy ride, but it's just keep a grin on your face and have an understanding that it's already been predestined and planned for Trump to come out on top on this. Okay. Whatever reason you need to give yourself, your truthers out there, whatever works for you. I'm my own person. I know what works for me. I can't speak for everybody else. But anyway, I'm hoping it's coming from the gut. That's what was told to me in a dream. And I watched Pimpy, and Pimpy was talking about a dream about a little bird being on fire. The bird hit the ground, and right above the bird was a banner sign, Trump 2020. He went to turn in a dream to walk away from the little burnt up bird. Then when he turned around, the little bird was in perfect health and started growing in size. Then the little bird caught back on fire after it done grow to a bigger size. Okay, he was telling the story about a phoenix coming back up from the ashes, and Pimpy's got a pretty good handle on having a pretty good relationship with God that I've been hearing him speak. Okay, I hear and I feel and I understand. Sometimes you can hear people say things and you just kind of shake your head bullshit, but you can hear some people when they're actually honestly telling you the truth about something, you just know they're telling the truth. And I told him in a comment that he just thought it was kind of a goofy dream. And I told him, I said, you got a pretty good relationship with God. What makes you think that he can't talk to you while you're asleep? Now, for me, it was, oh God, it's been a year or two. I should have wrote this dream down and dated it, and I didn't. But I'll never forget the dream. I walked up to a table in this dream with a great big giant bowl, okay? From my fingertips out this way, this bowl was probably 3 foot around. And it was a shallow vessel bowl, okay? Bowl's made out of clay. And I'm looking at this bowl on this table in front of me. It's probably about my belly button, okay? And this bowl was plumb full of clear water. And I'm looking at this bowl and I'm puzzled because the bowl that's holding all this water is plumb full of holes, pieces missing of the bowl. And I'm puzzled, wondering how in the world is the water staying in this bowl? And about that time that projected into my head, that thought, all of a sudden I seen these two hands from my gut reach through my gut. They was translucent and white, angelic looking. And these two hands was putting the pieces back in the bowl for me. Okay, to me that was a sign. And at the time I was really digging hard about some other things that I wasn't too clear about, and I wasn't too clear about me and God. Okay, and to me the dream instantly, as soon as I woke up, I knew what it meant. That he was showing me that I was full of good, and the pieces that needed to be put back in, he was doing it. Okay, that's living life every day. Peace to all y'all, and y'all have a wonderful day. I may tell another dream also. Well, I'll do it real quick. I dreamt that I was standing on this great big giant rock ledge, and I had that Bible that I showed everybody. Here. I had this in my hand. Okay. It's in my left hand, and I'm standing there in this dream, and it's like I'm seeing myself from behind, but at a distance and up higher. Okay. And at first in the dream, I didn't know where I was at and who that person was, and I finally it zoomed down, and it was like I went into the body that was standing there in the dream. And I'm standing on this huge rock cliff, beautiful place, in the middle of somewhere, don't know where it's at. But all I can see is these great, big, giant pine and fir trees for look like miles in any direction. That's all I could see. Blue skies, sunshine, beautiful surroundings. And I'm standing there with that Bible in my hand, or in my left hand. And this sense of peace when I was waking up thinking about that dream, I'm not even sure if it was a dream or a vision because of the way it presented itself when I was coming to. But anyway, I felt so much at peace and ease that I didn't know what to actually. I walked around all day kind of stepping on eggshells, and any bump or noise or anything, I was jumping, jerking, looking. It just left me so uneased that in my daily life that day that I was, like I said, like a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocket chairs is what I felt like. But that evening before I went to bed, it dawns on me that it was showing me, as long as I got God by my side, all is doable. And the surroundings was just beautiful. So we're always going to have troubles. We're always going to have issues. But it was to let me know that them issues are being handled, whether we could see them or not. All right, y'all. Peace.